So, Hitman World of Assassinations has a unique VR mode that allows you to play Hitman 1, 2, and 3, and a few other little bits within the game in VR mode. Now, the game does have a bunch of new content, and not everything supports VR. But the areas that do support VR provide you with an awesome experience and one that will truly mesmerize you. Not without its fair share of bugs, but you can see the missions with the VR denomination that clearly indicate where the game is VR enabled. Where it says get access, you basically need to go and get that content in order to play it. Now they offer you a bunch of new game modes. You've got contracts which are fan created. You've got the freelance mode, which is actually the one area that is really good, which I'll go into in a bit. You've got arcade mode, which is what you expect. It's just an onslaught of different different assassinations to get through. And of course, finally, you've got the sniper mode, which again is exactly the same way. But because this is a VR video and one that's focusing on VR, we didn't cover the areas that basically had no VR access, which was basically the sniper mode, arcade mode. They do function exactly how you would expect it to in controller support, but this is a VR, video, so we covered the areas where VR was enabled. Now I'm quickly going to go over the freelance mode because I think that's probably the biggest mode that this version of the game has outside of, the missions from Hitman 1, 2, and 3 all under one roof. The freelance mode is basically kind of like what they are hoping will carry you through. It actually is a really good idea, and for those of you that are diehard Hitman fans, this could potentially be where you spend a lot of your time. At least that's what it seems like they want you to do. You have your own HQ which you can decorate and, build essentially and get all your equipment in. You start off with nothing. Essentially, it's like a mini rogue-like experience where every time you go on a mission, if you don't make it out alive, you do lose everything that you had on you. Not your agent per se, but the equipment itself. Now, there are different syndicates that you need to go through that you can actually take out. Think of it like, I guess, Ghost Recon Wildlands kind of thing. And you have certain missions that you need to get through, like the enforcers before you get to the main people that you need to take out. This is actually a really good idea, and I really hope that it will be successful because this new game mode actually will add longevity. As you can see, the campaign progress shows you the enforcers before the big one, and as you go along, it gets harder and harder. If you fail a mission, you'll lose some progress on that bar as well. So overall, that's pretty cool. So in terms of game modes, not everything supports VR, which is a shame. I would have liked to see more supporting VR. However, what is there that supports VR is actually really damn good. So what we're going to do right now is jump into the VR segment of the game. So as you start the game, you get a little loading screen that shows you your targets and what you need to do. Graphically, the game looks really good in VR. It plays really well. The audio is great, and actually being able to, take on the persona of Agent 47 and walking around and doing the antics is actually a lot of fun. Now, one thing I will add is that this is purely trial and error. You are going to fail a lot before you finally figure out the patterns, the pathways, and so you can actually get a head start in going. This run that we're doing here, as you can see, we're just going in and we're immediately going to be making our way through without waiting. Usually the guy comes down the stairs, but if you waste that time, you lose valuable window time to actually go and actually do those objectives. So there is a bit of trial and error. But the idea here is to almost like level up as you're going across, equipping the actual enemy's, disguise and go along. It is pretty much what you would expect from a Hitman game. It's just in VR, and the VR itself is actually pretty damn awesome. Now, you don't have to strangle them, and the actual controls and the responsiveness of the VR is actually really damn good. But there are certain times where things do go a bit finicky and a little bit fiddly, but it works. You've also got all the cool gadgets. As you're going to see here, you can just switch over to your fiber wire, and as you're going to see, we're going to strangle this person a little bit. It's a bit unfortunate. As you can see, we are using a ability that allows us to see people around. A few attempts with that woman basically caught us while we were trying to take out that guy on the left. So we were this time waiting for her to be done with her journey, and then we can actually go along there. Now that she's turned away, she's no longer going to see, we can quickly take him out, and as you can see, he's pretty much done. So now we're going to take him out. As you can see there was a little bit of a bug. That happens every so often. Unfortunately, if they go through the floor, it will alert the people downstairs. So there's a little bit of patching or, updates to go. But overall, in terms of just fluidity, performance, and gameplay, it played really well. There were a few bugs, but nothing to distract from what we were doing, and they were few and far between. There is one bug in this game that you're going to, well, in this mission especially, because I'm only showing you the first mission. I think this is highly worth it. But, we took those two people out, and quickly take those disguises. It's all about taking the disguise and dragging people, hiding them, and making sure you can get it done in quick time before the targets enter this room. Gameplay wise, it's as you would expect for VR. You've got the snapping option or you've got the free motion. Depending on how you feel about motion sickness is going to determine which mode you prefer to play. We prefer to play the free motion, which for us worked better, but the snapping motion works just the same. In terms of the VR controls, they're very intuitive, very well designed, and as you can see, we're not really having any difficulty in doing anything we want to do. Even the reloading is really cool, it looks really flashy, and overall they've done a fantastic job with getting this game from a controller into a VR headspace. And, I can't really fault it. Now, if you have been on a PSVR2 and have been wondering, man, I've played a few games and none of them really have been that amazingly great. Well, this one here is for you. As you can see, that's our target, immediately taking them out. Obviously now we need to upgrade our suit, leave those bodies there, we don't really care about them. We could have technically put them away, but it doesn't matter at this point. Even if they find them, we've left the scene. It's all about timing and patience and having the thought process to go around it. You do have little things like coins that you can throw around if the enemies don't allow you to jump around, if they don't go through, so you can actually distract them. But, as you play the game, you unlock more gadgets, you unlock more abilities, you unlock more tools, and the missions just get bigger and more grander. As you can see here, you've got two of those people standing there, but we kind of want this guy to come a little closer. And even when they actually do spot you eventually, you kind of, just quickly... They may have seen me, that's fine, but what we're going to do right now is make a break for it after we've quickly shot them out. And as you can see, the actual VR controls for actually shooting the enemies is actually pretty on point. It's actually really good. So I don't really have much to complain. Even as you can see here, he's trying to quickly hide, and it was frantically panicking as it was trying to hide. But it's been a good experience, and there's not much I have to complain about the game. You get to play Hitman 1, 2, 3, and those are all in VR. The extra missions that they have at the end, the DLC kind of missions, those are purchased, and they weren't available for me to test. But this is one that I would highly recommend. It's a really good addition to PSVR2 at a time when Sony themselves aren't really pushing VR as much as they should do. They aren't supporting it. You really want a game that stands out and, gets that VR feel and makes you feel like you're doing something right. You're actually playing a VR game. And this does that entirely. honestly, in terms of VR games and performances, this is really, really damn good. It doesn't drop in frames, it doesn't drop in performance, and as long as you've calibrated your headset correctly, there's really nothing wrong with this experience. It also allows you to save at any point within the journey. So I can stop the game here, save it, and it saves the state I am in right now. And that is really cool. It's got auto saving as well, but that fact that you can save state is really, really cool because, as you know with Hitman, one mistake and the whole mission goes down the toilet. Save stating is really cool, and that's our second target just there. So as you can see, we're just kind of camouflaging our way around. Now, we did encounter a really amusing bug, and we're about to come up to it. Like I said, this game isn't without its, minor bugs and stuff like that, but it almost added to the charm because it was funny. These aren't like bad bugs, these are just funny. So as you can see here, we're taking out this enemy and we quickly need to get him away. So first of all, we wear his disguise, we pick up his weapon so we can, pretend that we are him, a soldier. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the body and put it into the wardrobe. Of course, at this point, I know this wasn't part of the experience, but it was so hilarious as me and my son were frantically trying to close the cupboard door, as you're going to see. It was actually really funny. Yeah, we got rid of that. That's fine. We were thinking about going through the window after we took out the target because we know the target is coming here. But that's when we saw the door. It wasn't closing, which was really funny. No matter what we did, eventually we realized that this was actually a bug and it was actually closed. It's like, you'll see now. This was really, really funny. And no matter how much he's trying to close that door, as you can see, he is frantically trying because she's coming. And she's going to come and they're going to see this door completely open. What are they going to do? We actually didn't know. But you know what? We're going to let it play out so you can actually see for yourself. Because this was quite intensely funny. So, so he's given up. He's walking back now. And he's like, look, look, look. They're coming. What am I going to do? They're going to see it as soon as they come in. There's some bugs in the game that actually add to the humor. This is one of them. Because there's literally nothing you can do at this point. You've also got the ability where if you turn your wrist, it actually shows you your latest mission and what you need to do. But you can clearly see here that it was a bug because he would totally see what it is. We've defeated the enemy. We've got our contracts done. Bob's your uncle. Out we go. And the mission now is to get out and leave. Overall, I think this game is phenomenal. It actually works really well. My son especially is a huge advocate. I like VR quite a lot, but he's a huge advocate of VR gaming. He can play for hours without getting any motion sickness. If you do suffer motion sickness, having the snap view is definitely advised. But if you don't suffer from motion sickness, this is definitely the way to go. I want more of this. And Hitman World Assassination is just awesome. And I'm happy we're finally starting to get really cool VR games of, AAA games that actually deliver in both gameplay, substance, and just, content. So, as you can see here, he wasn't sure after all that if it was going to be, and you can just quickly do a save state. It will literally save state there for you, and yeah, you're done. So in the event where this guy decided that no, you wasn't the right person, that's it. Now, we didn't get the key on this run because we didn't go in the room where the key was, so we had to find another way out, which there's plenty of ways to get out. Our job was done. But my overall thoughts on Hitman World Assassin, the fact that you've got 3 lengthy campaigns to play in VR mode, there's a lot of VR here. A lot of VR. And if you want to get involved in the VR side of gaming, this is a really great place to start. Controls are good. I mean, there's a, it does flip out every once in a while. That's going to happen. But overall, it's good. And you can expect a good delivery of content, story missions as well. Lots of collectibles as well. As you can see, we only got a few of the collectibles, not a lot of them. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with this. And finally, I can say that I'm happy that there's a good game that's been released that actually can utilize my PSVR2. Because up until this point, we just didn't have that. But what I want to know is, do you have a PSVR2? Is this something that you're interested in? Is this something that you would be interested in looking into? If you are a Hitman fan, this game puts you into the shoes of Agent 47. You have to go around in first person and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. The controls are great. They've done a fantastic job in that. So actually getting those ways of dealing with targets. I mean, we did have the option of poisoning them or doing other things. And in fact, on earlier in the video, we were actually going to poison the lady, but we forgot to pick up the poison that we did in the previous run and thought we had it, so we couldn't actually do that because she goes to a buffet. And this is what I mean. This game needs patience. But what Hitman didn't. You kind of learn the routes, learn what they're going to do, and then you have that perfect run where you go. Ignore the slanted view that you've got here. This is basically my kid not having the VR perfectly situated, but this is the view that you're looking at in VR. You get to see the whole screen. This is just OBS recording it. But overall, I'm really happy with this game. I think it's a very good game, and I really hope it will do well because it absolutely deserves it. For me, VR games have generally been small gimmicks, with Half-Life Alyx being one of the big ones out there that have really shined. I really do believe Hitman World of Assassination has now entered that league of amazing VR experiences that are on the AAA caliber and deliver in both content and gameplay and give you that experience that you absolutely want. If you've ever dreamed of being an Agent 47, being in his shoes and completing these contracts with, you actually stretching out and trying to strangle the people or stabbing them or poisoning them or doing whatever you want to do, this is the experience for you, hands down. It's a phenomenal experience and I highly recommend it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and until then, remain legend.